What if Raticate got a brand new art rare? Now, I know, Raticate's got a handful of cards, don't get me wrong, and he's got some pretty good cards at that, but I wanted to see if I could make my own Raticate art rare. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Dodger Collects, and I'm creating a series called the 1025 AR Project, where I'm creating an art rare for every single Pokemon in existence. And in today's video, we have this finished illustration of Raticate. Now, I want to go over some things that I do like about the illustration and some things that I'd like to change. Things that I don't think are completely perfect. First of all, there's something missing from the walls. I added these like little tiny faint kind of specks in the walls to kind of give them a little bit more depth. I feel like there could have been a little bit more done with them. And I do like the fact that there's like an open vent, but maybe a little bit more dark and shading in that vent would be nice. I'm still trying a lot of new stuff out there. For example, in this card, I did try to do some perspective with the Rocket Grunt's hat. I think the one on the left looks pretty good. That Rocket Grunt is pretty perfect. I wouldn't really change anything about him. The one on the right, though, I was having some problems with like the perspective of it all. Trying to make it look like it was, kind of resting his head on the table. I was trying to like add his arm, and it just didn't really work out. So I just kind of made it the way it is now. So the one on the left I think is pretty dang good, and the one on the right is not so good, and that's just how it is, right? That's just how I drew it, and that's unfortunate, but that's just something I need to improve on in the future. Maybe some proportional things, maybe some perspective things, just work on that kind of general stuff, right? But this whole idea of the card is that Raticate is pretty much entering Team Rocket's secret hideout or secret lair, and he's barely holding onto a thread of a rope. He doesn't want to wake up the grunts who are like sleeping, relaxing, and yeah, that's kind of like the concept of the card. He's holding onto the rope with his teeth. There's also a Voltorb poster on the right there, because, Voltorb, pretty menacing looking Pokemon there, and kind of representative of that, like, evil Team Rocket kind of vibe. That's what I was really going for. I engraved a little Pokeball design on the wall just to add a little bit more flair, a little air conditioner. I think that the overall perspective of, like, the roof is pretty well done. For my illustrations, obviously, it's not, like, the most perfect thing in the entire world. Definitely more subtle in the shading on this card compared to the Rattata and the Pidgeot from the last couple of episodes, but still, I think it does get the point across. It's not super overdone, but definitely it could probably use a little bit more. But yeah, that's my Raticate illustration. I do hope you guys like it, though. It's not supposed to be like specifically a Team Rocket's Raticate card, but it just is a Raticate card with Team Rocket in it, because Team Rocket is just such a big part of Gen 1 in the first place. Like, it doesn't have to be specifically a Team Rocket Pokemon. That is Pokemon 020 Raticate completed. Now I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Peace.